Hello guys, welcome to a brand new series on the channel. Today I'm going to be starting on my KillJoy guides, and today we're just going to be starting with probably the map you see KillJoy on the most common, Ascent, so you can dominate your ranked games. So we're first just going to be starting on attack for A, and the first thing I want you to say is I want you to use your turret and place it for flank. Because I think using a turret is way better than using your alarm bot, because you can use your alarm bot, in my opinion, for this heaven push here, where you can basically place it here, wait until it gets broken, or wait until someone triggers it, and you can basically spam through this wall, and while they're vulnerable, maybe get a free kill. I think that is very valuable with this alarm bot. Or, if you want, or you're on an eco or something, you can place your turret up here and allow it to be able to spot anyone peeking this angle. Then bear in mind that your flank isn't watched, so if you're going to do this turret to stop someone from peeking or spot someone peeking, I'll suggest maybe lurking mid and trying to take some space around this area while staying in range of that turret for your team. As you can see, this big circle, this big white outline on the map, like this will tell you how, if you're in range in your turret or not. Maybe you might want to do a tree lurk or a late mid lurk, but with lurking as well, I always suggest playing around for sound. And I'll show you a molly lineup now as well. You can use this molly for a little execute, so you see this little part here where it's a lighter shade on the metal. If you aim this line in between your alarm bot and your turret and just throw, it will actually land tree. And I see it happen where basically everyone can easily just hide here and timing a quick peek out of tree and maybe getting a few kills. So if you're mollying this either forces them to go all the way back so they can't peek you, or it forces them to peek out. And if you have a silver dart to play off of here, you can basically just tear up and get some free kills, and you can take the site a lot easier and bring down their numbers as a whole. Vice versa, if they decide to go all the way back, it means like they're not going to peek you and you don't have to worry about holding tree for now, and you can calmly just close the door. A few more mollies I suggest learning is coming to this corner here, and if you aim just in between these two little bends in the sky here, I'm not sure what to call them, and just throw like so, this will land Jenny. So if there's anyone playing behind Jenny, you basically force them to peek out. And another one is if you just aim right here, so from where this little rift in the sky goes from being sort of grey, bluey to full white, you just place your crosshair there and throw. This will land behind dice, and this will force anyone behind these two angles to peek out. And these volleys are very good just for taking that early space, because in my opinion these are the two most common sort of angles that aren't complete one and done off angles to play on this site. So if you can molly at least one of them, you could possibly get yourself a free kill. And it's even better if paired up with any information like a Sova Dart or Drone or Fade Eye or Skydog or just something, maybe a KO knife, anything can pair up with that molly lineup there. Yeah, that is everything I have for A on attack. Let's move on to B. So for B, I just want to start by talking about the turret. This is the default turret for B. So if you're flanking as well, I would always suggest just pre-aiming this turret once you've pre-aimed all of these angles here and shooting it, because this is by far the best turret in my opinion for flank in the whole game. And if you're not putting your turret here, you're probably going to be losing the round, because this turret watches here and this push here all the way from catwalk. So this will spot the earliest possible opportunity of a flank, which is very strong for your team, and it will waste time for that flanker as well in terms of retaking the site. So though that is the best turret for flank in the game, if you're doing anything else, if you're placing it anywhere else, in my opinion, you're playing around wrong, unless they're just coming over and pre-aiming this turret every single round and breaking it. Then you can maybe delete that turret there and just place an alarm bot to flank or something around there. But yeah, always do this turret if you're like attacking on B and you need a good flank watch. This is by far the best turret in the game, because it watches the spawn push and it watches the catwalk push. So I'm going to show you a few molly lineups for this site now. So the first one I'll show you will be for stairs. If you go straight into this corner and aim sort of at this corner where the metal's a little bit worn out and it's a lighter shade, and the moment you jump throw like this, and this will land right on the back of stairs. And this is a very good little angle that people like to peek from, especially if you're playing main. So if you have this mollied off of, as you're pushing, obviously you have to time these lineups right, because they'll just break the molly otherwise. So be ready to instantly pop your molly after you throw it down. And basically this will force either anyone to swing out or go straight onto site. And if you can pair it up, maybe even with like a Sova Dart there or there, it will instantly spot them. It'll be a much freer sight, and it'll be a free kill because you'll basically know where they are and pre-aim them as well, especially for your duelists. So yeah, that's the first one. I'll show you on to the second one. So the second one I want to show you is actually really good for people rotating off site. So if you line yourself up with this little frame in this doorway here, and sort of aim in line with these two little dots and go all the way up here and just throw your molly, this will go straight into CT. And obviously if you pop your molly, it basically covers this corner. Anyway, here it forces them to push right back, and it will toast them and it will do a lot of damage. So I always recommend doing that molly as well every now and again. Make sure you switch these mollies up, by the way. Maybe use one for, because you can also, when you're planted, like post one down, like for one more for post one or whatnot. So you want to switch up how you use your mollies, but these mollies are all good to know, depending on how you want to execute the site. That's what kind of molly you want to be throwing to help your team out. Because people seem to think that with KillJoy, she's just a pure defensive agent, and she can actually have a lot of impact if you know how to play her properly and you have these sort of molly executable lineups. She can actually help you with your push. So yeah, I do suggest learning a few of these for each site on every map she's met her on. So yeah. Now I'll just go through where to ult on attack. So for A site, I always suggest just ulting in this corner. And I have heard a few things that if you actually face this to the wall, they can actually, there's a glitch in the game where you can wall bang it. I'm not sure whether it's been patched, but just to be safe, I would recommend just turning away and then flopping it down like this. But I would always suggest ulting B because all of this section of heaven is still open. So if you're going to be doing this ult, you have to bear in mind that you'll probably have to clear, even on site as well, because someone could just be ulting you from here. So bear that in mind whenever you're using your ult for A. But onto the B ult. So with your KillJoy ult here, the reason why I always say it's better for B is you can actually ult right in this corner and it will cover everything of the site. Like there's no way they can hide in boathouse, there's no way they can hide anyway. They have to run into CT or market. If you want, you can even do that molly line up into CT here, obviously, like so. And you can pair it up so as they're rotating out, they're also getting toasted by this molly. But if they have like Ares or Odin's, this can be spammed very easily. So I always recommend, if they do have those kind of guns and they're spamming you can post it right here. And you can run straight into this corner and see if you just kind of line up with this sort of bar of the window. You could running through it, and the molly will basically land right into backside, so it will cover where the ult is basically not holding, and they'll get either toasted or they will get forced to play in the ult and they'll get detained. But this is very strong. So if they have Ares and Odins and you're worried about clearing this corner for boathouse, like don't worry, you couldn't easily just have a molly land up for it. So yeah, on the defense now, because I think this is everything I kind of need to cover for attack. So for now, I'll just start with a site setup for A. So firstly, you want to kind of put your turret just in line with this black bar here, underneath Hail. And this will basically see anything into main and anyone pushing towards the right side of site. And this is a good turret as well because no one's going to be expecting it and it's quite hard to shoot. And the first molly you can do is just one kind of just in the center of here. And you'll actually be surprised how little people shoot this because everyone's trying to push this site quite fast and clear these close angles here if they don't have a drone. So this molly can go quite unknown. And then this molly, you always want to be putting your molly on the far edge of this green patch in the middle of this space here. And this is so it covers all of this space, as you can see. They'll be toasted from anywhere they're in. They can't stand here, they'll take damage. So put this here, and put your alarm bot right next to it. If you don't want to do this molly, or they're shooting it, or you feel like this molly is not key, you could obviously just switch it up and maybe place it Jenny, like so. Maybe just underneath the ledge so it's kind of hidden. And if you hear a jet dash or something, you could then just pop that along with this one as well, so they can't walk back. And maybe you can even play off that molly and swing as he dashes on, and you pop that molly because he'll be vulnerable. So even if you miss your shot and you hit 2 bodies, you're gonna kill him. So yeah, that's the first setup for A that I can show you. If you want to set up purely for Jenny, you can firstly just place your turret here. And place your first molly just behind Jenny here. The second molly just in this corner, kind of around here, so it's hidden, and then place your second alarm bot here. So if someone's dashing on, all of this is covered, and they're just gonna get toasted behind Jenny straight away. Okay, that's a good setup for Jenny. If you don't like the turret hell for this setup here, what I showed you, you can put it straight behind these boxes, just on top of him, for close right. And this is also a good turret because it watches into tree as well. So yeah, you can push your turret hell, or you can put it here. So if you need to set up the mid, just come here and sort of aim just by the edge of this pot here. And it will land right up top here. And then the second molly will kind of just go sort of by this little spec on the floor.
Placing
Yeah,
swamp grenade.
just anywhere in this general direction is fine. I mean, put your sort of alarm bot in the middle of this drain and this.
Placing alarm bot.
The bricks, and then your turret will just go straight here,
Placing
so you
sentry.
can see the earliest possible push into turret, into a tree even.
Here.
And then you can just pop your mollies down, your alarm bot will go off, and hopefully they'll get toasted. And this is really good if you keep playing A or keep playing B. Eventually your enemies will just start trying to filter out through mid every time, so if you have a set up for tree, stop that push, that'll delay a lot of time and it will lead you maybe even into winning the round based off this setup alone for a round. But also if you miss the gamble and your enemies don't use their brain and play like low bobs, they'll probably just keep going sight, so you missed an opportunity to set up for sight as well. So it's sort of kind of dependent about what rank you're playing in. I'd say in kind of a higher rank this setup is pretty good, but maybe in lower ranks you just want to stick to trying to hold sight as well. So yeah, I'll leave it to you to use your best judgment on when you want to use these setups. But yeah, I kind of think it's probably best if you're, I'd say, platinum or below, I would just stick to just sort of setting up on site, maybe using Util, because most lurks they're going to be doing are going to be brain dead anyway, and they're not going to be growing much space for their team. So yeah, I would just suggest sticking to site. If you're playing maybe diamond above, you can kind of try this setup out, see if it works for you. If you've been getting a lot of joy on sites, maybe try switching up, setting up for tree for a round. Yeah, hopefully it should work. On to B. So the main setup you'll be using is you'll come up to here, just kind of put one molly straight behind this pole, put your alarm bot kind of around this area, and then you can kind of go down here and place your second alarm bot, not alarm bot molly, sorry, on that ping here. And then for your turret, I would always kind of place it here so we can spot on the lane walk up and the stairs walk up, so you have both sides covered. And where I'd play off this is you can maybe play backside and just kind of play for fights and peek off your mollies. And if you notice someone pushing you from the stairs or your turret sees him, you can kind of peek off your turret. So I kind of suggest playing a little bit more passive on KillJoy, to be honest. So if you're dying, you're just allowing your enemies a free sight. So if you can take one or two down with you, you'll give your team a big advantage to win the round. And I think B, in my opinion, is the more common place I would see KillJoy set up, but A is also good as well. And I think this is KillJoy's best map in terms of diversity and how many plays you can sort of do. So yeah, that would be my lane setup. Another setup you can do is you can put your turret straight here. You could put one molly kind of on there, and the other one you can put here, and you can just put your alarm bot here. And off this turret, I recommend playing close in the other angle. But yeah, this is a good setup just for entering, just for the entrance of the site. And if you want to switch it up just from playing your setup lane every time, it's also good to mix it up. So yeah, that's the second setup for B. Another kind of setup, kind of half setup, which is good, is placing your turret right here, and this is really good for early information. And you can put a molly around here if you wanted to. And then I would put turret market as well. Especially this is really good if they keep taking market for free, and you can have an alarm bot here. Possibly maybe even a molly there to use off your alarm bot kind of thing. So yeah, this is quite a good spread up site, and it can allow you to hold more of the map. But at the same time, it's quite hard just to solely hold a site. Like, you're going to be a little bit weaker on this B site here. But the market push, you'll be a lot stronger. You can maybe benefit off of this and take a bit of space mid, so it'll be easier for you to retake B. Yeah, this is a good site. This is a good little setup. If you don't want to use your mollies, you can kind of use it so you can save a molly to use with your retake ult, which I'm going to show you literally straight after this. So if you want to mix up, you can kind of do this if you just want to quickly hold, you get some really early info and then have you set up for market. And this alarm bot will still be activated as you're rotating anyway, just in case anyone's late lurking behind you. You don't have to worry about that. So you can focus on retaking tree or maybe cubby, and then obviously the site itself. So yeah, onto the retake ults. The first retake ult I'll show you, you put your ult just like here on tree like so. Obviously you've got to take the space first, then get in this corner and just aim your crosshair in the corner of this box and just throw it, and this will land straight into wine. So anyone kind of playing here is going to get fully toasted. As you can see, it covers all of wine perfectly. So yeah, this is a perfect retake ult. Obviously make sure you have this space taken before and be prepared for anyone to be pushing you for this ult. And the reason it's really good to put it on top of this box is they'll all usually be pre-firing this ult from kind of here behind here. And you can obviously switch up the placement, it does the same thing. This molly works for both of these ultimates. Both super strong mollies, I recommend putting it up there to start with, because everyone's going to be pre-aiming that kind of spot anyway if they want to try and like retake it or take that space again. So yeah, be prepared to contest, have at least this space taken before you just chuck this ult down. And yeah, obviously throw your molly down so they can't just sit in wine, and you should be living. and onto the B retake ult. So with both of these ults, there's not really any like proper good retake mollies you can use, like the lineup wise, that I found anyway. So the first ult you can kind of do is just ult like this, and this is like a very low risk ult, to be honest. And I don't actually recommend this ult, I think this ult's quite bad. But if you're really in a situation and you're in a pinch where you need to take some space, this ult does the job, but you just have to be careful for backside. But this is the main ult I would be doing for retake. Also, be careful to never be looking at this wall, because it will just be always on top of here, and they'll can spam it. So always make sure you're looking away when you're doing this ult. So it's on the floor, and this will cover everything, and it will force them to push you, which is what you kind of want. And if you can kind of like maybe get 1 or 2 survive, the rest will be detained on site. But make sure you kind of have like mid control as well when you're doing this ult. So if you want to play like sort of a retake setup as well with this first setup, you can have your turret here and your alarm bot there. So like if you want to hold the space, maybe you sit here, wait for them to smoke you out. If you can sort of get yourself into CT, and all your util will still be up, your turret will be broken by this point, they're taking site. And you can kind of contest all of this space back, and you can sort of put your ult down here. You have an alarm bot cover in the mid push, which is also very strong with the sword. And also that means they have to kind of back up from main, but be prepared for them to swing your main anyway, if they're playing really aggressively like monkeys, because they kind of have to. So yeah, always recommend ulting here if you're retaking on B. Yeah, that'll be it for the KillJoy guides for today. The maps I'm planning to do guides on would be Lotus, Split, and Icebox. Let me know if you want any other guides, but I think those are kind of the best maps. Split, I would say her and Cypher are quite interchangeable. Cypher's arguably better on that map, but definitely for Lotus and Icebox, she is the strongest Sentinels on those maps by far. But I will be doing a Split guide in case anyone just has a preference to play KillJoy, and she's very much playable on those maps. So yeah, look out for those. If you enjoyed the video and found it useful, please leave a like and follow and subscribe, and comment if what you want to see down below. And yeah, peace. See you next time.